Good morning. Welcome to All Out Politics, our hour of news, debate and opinion from the heart of Westminster. The Windrush controversy shows no sign of going away soon, with the pressure continuing to grow on the Home Secretary today. It's emerged this morning that the Home Office did set targets for the voluntary removal of illegal immigrants, contradicting what Amber Rudd told MPs yesterday. A 2015 report shows the department set a target of 12,000 voluntary departures for the following year. That's up 7,200 on the year before. Labour have been granted an urgent question on the affair in the Commons later this hour. The Shadow Brexit Secretary, Keir Starmer, told Sky News this morning that the Home Secretary had some explaining to do.
I mean, the key question at the moment is, did you have a target for the numbers that were to be removed? And that's got to be answered. I mean, Amber Rudd appeared yesterday to say no. It looks as though she may have been contradicted by something in reports today. That's got to be cleared up. And as I say, really, I think the right thing to do would be to come to the House of Commons as the Home Secretary and make a statement setting out what the full position is, and then face questions from MPs about that, because otherwise there can't be any real accountability.
Well, with me, our senior political correspondent, Beth Rigby. Beth, you've written about this on Sky Views on the app. Home Secretary very much under pressure.
Yes, Adam, she really is, isn't she? Partly because of what she said yesterday at the Home Affairs Select Committee. There was this issue about whether or not the government had set targets to get people out of the country. She told Yvette Cooper that there hadn't been targets, and now it emerges there are. And I think we've got the grab of what she said to MPs yesterday.
We don't have targets for removals. But you did. I don't know what are you referring to?
We've just heard from the previous evidence that the Home Office and there are regional targets for net removals.
I didn't hear the testimony. I'm not sure what shape that might be in. But if you're asking me, are the numbers of people we expect to be removed, that's not how we operate.
Perhaps Mr. Williams could clarify, are there removals targets for different regions of the enforcement team?
I'm not in charge of enforcement, but not as far as I know, no.
I mean, that was the operational director of the Home Office backing it up. So can we say the evidence is they don't know what their own department's doing?
Well, that's what it smacks of, doesn't it? It smacks of, there's two issues here, Adam. There's the issue about the Windrush migrants and whether they've been unfairly treated by the Home Office, but also to what extent the government are or aren't on top of this story. And it looked incompetent when you have officials and ministers saying there aren't targets, and in the 2015 inspection report there clearly are targets. And I can show you, I think we've got the graphic, where it clearly says that for 2014 to 15, the Home Office set a target of 7,200 voluntary departures, an average of 120 per week, with the weekly target rising to 160 by the end of March 2015. And for 2015-16, the annual target was raised to 12,000. These targets were split between the 19 different teams across the UK.
Now, so that was split regional, but I mean, that has to be said, that is when the current Prime Minister was the Home Secretary.
That's right, but I guess there's two things. There's a direct contradiction here between what the Home Secretary said to Parliament yesterday and what has emerged this morning, and that's why Diane Abbott, the Shadow Home Secretary, has been given an urgent question. Amber Rudd has to go and answer this in the Commons this morning. But there's a broader question here, which is she became Home Secretary in 2016. These targets were set under the leadership of Theresa May in the Home Office, and up to now the government have said there aren't any targets, these are just mistakes. But there's a number of growing questions over the hostile environment policy and whether or not people were being unfairly targeted because pressure immigration officials were under by the then Home Secretary to whittle numbers back. And then you come to the issue about what happens with Amber Rudd. I mean, Jeremy Corbyn called yesterday for her to resign over the mess over Windrush. She's obviously staying in post, but the Prime Minister will be under pressure. But of course, Amber Rudd is her body bag. She's taking the blows over Windrush. She's defending policies that weren't implemented by her or set by her, but were set by her boss when she was Home Secretary.
OK, Beth, thank you very much indeed.